Hello,
Good
good morning.
morning.
Welcome to our little update from Malawi. Our time is beginning to draw to a close, and we want to tell you a little bit about what we got up to yesterday. So yesterday we travelled back, as we told you, from Salima to Lilongwe, and we had a site visit in the latter half of the morning into the early afternoon, and we were looking at sort of training at the establishments, universities, theological colleges. And so Han and I were split and we went to two different sites. And so Han, tell us about what you got up to.
So I went to a organisation called Veritas, which means truth. And this was a centre where facilitators are being trained at the college. They have 4 different modules that take them about 6 months each to complete. And then when they have completed that training, they don't get a certificate till they have gone out and replicated the models of farming that they're learning and the pastoral care that they're learning out in their respective communities. So when we were there yesterday morning, we got to see the very end of one of the classes finishing module 1. So they had just graduated that first part of their course. They were outside having their group photo and invited us in to join them. They were celebrating. Then we got to go in and hear some more from them and spend some time encouraging them and praying for them as well, which was really exciting to see. They use a program that links in called Farming God's Way, and they've got all the booklet information on planning out their crops and crop rotation and lots of sort of biblical references into that of methods of farming and how God is in this process. Yes, it's a very mechanical, practical process for farming and producing food, but that God is in this process as well as they're learning and being pastors of their environment and what they're growing, and also their communities and the churches that they lead.
That's cool. So was that primarily pastors training?
Yes.
Yeah. And they would be going into more in a rural setting, and so the training was delivered regionally.
Yeah, and then they were coming in as well for some of the training. They said the transport is a tricky thing. They often have to try and get just public buses, which is not the easiest thing to do. But they were there.
We've seen them.
We've seen them. We've seen the buses. They're full. But
people, goods, goats,
livestock. They said that's tricky to get people in, but they rely heavily on volunteers, which is something we're used to in church. We really respect and value having volunteers in church ourselves. These guys had volunteers, so the guy who was helping doing the training had trained up others who were able to reach far more than he could on his own. They were really thankful for people that had retired out of their main career, and they were coming back to help volunteer and to continue teaching on, continue training up others to be able to then go and be active in their mission field.
Yeah, that's cool. So I went to the AOG University, and that was really cool. I got to see the main AOG Theological University here in Lilongwe. 4,000 students doing all sorts of programs, from sort of a diplomas through to sort of a full-on degree level program, and it was really cool to go there. Great university campus. It was kind of buzzing with life, as you'd expect from a uni campus, and we sat down and spoke with 2 of the lecturers there. And kind of what we were doing yesterday was kind of zooming back out. So we kind of been right on the ground, seeing this is a family or a community, benefiting from some of these principles in relation to farming and community transformation. But this is all delivered through churches and pastors. And so kind of one of the first steps is to get a pastor to have this vision that it's not just the sort of spoken gospel of salvation, but the gospel extends to transforming our communities. And Tear Fund were primarily guiding us around yesterday and talking us through this idea of what they call CCT, which is Church Community Transformation. And so even at the uni level, they are looking at how they can bring some of Tear Fund's sort of CCT curriculum into their university studies. So yes, they're going to continue with all their theological studies, but how can they weave in this idea that the Bible and theologically we're also encouraged to transform our communities? And so if you think about that getting into the lives of pastors who are already practicing in the community, and pastors who are, and church leaders who are training through theological colleges, the impact, you know, particularly if you look at this further down the road, like could be massive, because these people are going to go out, and if they carry this vision in their lives, then they're going to begin to transform their communities. Maybe it doesn't even need so many interventions from, you know, the charity partners that we're here with, because they're just doing it because they believe it's part of their calling and their mission. And it just felt so aligned with kind of how we see church back home at C3, in terms of, you know, we want to be people who transform our community, and that was really fun to be part of. So it was a great day, and we learnt a lot, we travelled a lot. We had a walk around the neighbourhood, and then came back and debriefed. We said thank you to most of our Lilongwe based or Malawi based team. We're going to one final site visit after breakfast this morning, which we're excited to tell you about tomorrow, and then our time comes to an end. We're connecting with Flood Church today, and their pastors and their team meeting us for breakfast, but then we're going to spend some more time with them. They've got Baptism Sunday tomorrow, and we're excited to go worship with them before we leg it off to the airport. So we'll see you again soon, and we thank you for your prayers, and it's been great to share this adventure with you.